There is a version of practicing guitar that feels extremely productive and does almost nothing for your development. You sit down, you play through your songs, they sound decent. You end the session feeling like a person who plays guitar. You put the instrument down and go about your day. And 3 months later, you are exactly where you were 3 months ago. The feeling of a good practice session and the reality of a good practice session are almost completely unrelated. A genuinely productive practice session feels uncomfortable the entire time because you are spending it on the things that do not work yet. It does not feel like playing guitar. It feels like repeatedly attempting something you cannot do and occasionally getting a glimpse of it working before it falls apart again. It is frustrating in a specific way that is easy to avoid because picking up the guitar and playing what you already know feels so much better. The technical term for playing what you already know is maintenance. Maintenance has its place, but maintenance and improvement are different activities, and most people are doing one while believing they're doing the other. The question worth asking before every practice session is not, what am I going to play? It is, what am I going to fix? If you cannot answer that question, you do not have a practice session. You have a performance for an audience of nobody. Everyone tells beginners to practice with a metronome. Start slow, build up speed, use the click. This advice is correct and almost universally applied in the worst possible way. Most people turn on the metronome, set it to a tempo that is slightly too fast, and then rush through the hard parts and drag through the easy parts while technically staying within the beat. The metronome is clicking, they are playing, it feels like discipline. What is actually happening is that they are practicing inconsistent timing with a click track in the background. The metronome is not there to keep you on time, it is there to show you where you are not on time. Those are different jobs. If you are rushing the hard parts, the metronome is telling you the tempo is too fast. If you are dragging anywhere, the metronome is telling you that section is not as solid as you thought. The metronome is diagnostic equipment. It is showing you where the problems are, not covering them up. Set the tempo to where everything is clean and even and slightly boring. That is the right tempo. Not comfortable in the sense of easy, clean in the sense of every note ringing, every transition smooth, every beat landing exactly where the click is. When that's locked in, move the tempo up by 5 beats per minute, not 20, 5, and do it again. If this is slow in a way that feels almost insulting, it is also the only way that actually works. If this is clicking for you, saving this video is the most useful thing you can do with it right now. It's the kind of thing that means more the longer you have been playing and worth having somewhere you can find it again. There are 2 things you do when you pick up a guitar, and most people do not realize they are different things. There is practicing and there's playing. Both matter. Conflating them is what makes practice feel like a chore and playing feel like a waste of time. Practicing is focused, specific, uncomfortable, and directed at something that does not work yet. It has a goal that is smaller than a song, a transition, a specific bar, a technique. You are drilling something until it is no longer a problem and moving to the next problem. Playing is just music. You pick up the guitar and you make sounds that feel good, and you follow whatever direction the instrument takes you. No agenda, no fixing, no metronome, just the relationship between you and the thing in your hands. Playing does not make you better in the deliberate way that practice does, but it does something practice cannot do. It keeps you connected to why you picked up the instrument in the first place. It's where you find out what you actually sound like when you stop trying to sound like something. It's where the things you practiced start to show up naturally without you thinking about them. The ratio matters. Too much practice with no play and the guitar starts to feel like homework. Too much play with no practice and you plateau in a comfortable place and stay there. Both in the right proportion and you are actually moving somewhere while still enjoying the journey. Most people practice when they should be playing and play when they should be practicing. Knowing the difference is most of it. Nobody wants to hear that their 2-hour practice session is less effective than 30 minutes would have been, but attention is not infinite, and the quality of practice degrades significantly after a certain point, and most people blow past that point every single session without noticing. The first 20 to 30 minutes of a focused practice session are where most of the actual learning happens. Your attention is fresh, your hands are warm, the material is new to your brain in the way it needs to be new to absorb it. After that window, the quality drops. Not dramatically, not all at once, but it drops. You start going through the motions. The deliberate attention that makes practice effective becomes effort spent on staying focused rather than on the material itself. 2 hours of practice where the first 30 minutes are sharp and the remaining 90 are diminishing returns is not a 2-hour practice session. It's a 30-minute practice session with 90 minutes of expensive maintenance attached to it. Short, focused sessions practiced consistently over time will outperform long, unfocused sessions every single time. 30 minutes a day, every day is worth more than 3 hours on Sunday. Frequency is what builds the neural pathways that make technique automatic. Infrequent long sessions give you enough time in the session to feel productive and not enough frequency between sessions for the learning to consolidate. Practice shorter. Practice more often. Stop before the quality drops and come back tomorrow.